those shots should have hit. I had like 3 that should hit a minute ago.
Enemies planted the bomb. Stop them.
This mission can still be completed.
Actually, while we're going for the anvil. No.
Forgot that I'll link to you.
Enemies behind us. Lethal out. I'm defusing the bomb.
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Dahlia gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about free-for-all in Rogue Company. What are my thoughts on having a free-for-all mode? Let's head over and check it out. So Stallion posted a comment on one of my videos asking for my thoughts on free-for-all, said that there's been several people that have, kind of tossed that idea around in their head, but it never gained much traction, and I asked for pros and cons. So basically I created a pros list, a cons list, and also possible suggestions for a potential Rogue Company free-for-all mode. So for pros for free-for-all, we have can be played alone. Of course, it is a single person on that team. You're on that team because it is a free-for-all mode. You don't have to rely on your team whatsoever. It also allows you the ability to fight several different rogues at once. So it allows you to have several different engagements in very unique areas of the map. It also allows you to have engagements with rogues that you might not typically play against, because the meta for free-for-all will be completely different than the meta for the rest of the game. It puts you outside of your comfort zone since you don't have a team. So Rogue Company is primarily a team-based game. So you have to rely heavily on your team, especially in Demolition and other single life game modes, in order to be able to accomplish the goal that is set forth in that round, depending on what game mode you're queuing into. This will put you outside of that comfort zone because you can't rely on anybody else other than yourself, because if someone shows up to the fight and basically third parties that fight, they're out to get both of you if they possibly can. And lastly, for the pros, it also allows different rogues to shine. I think that other rogues will be very good in this game mode, such as Anvil, such as Cannon. There's several rogues that aren't typically played in your average game of Strikeout or Demolition that would be absolutely viable in free-for-all and would potentially receive a lot of play. For the cons list, we have a couple of issues here with this game mode as a whole, in my opinion. So it could encourage teaming. So basically what teaming is people queuing at the same time in the same region, trying to get into the same game so that they can team up in a free-for-all game mode and be able to basically exploit the matchmaking system, also exploit how the servers and things like that work. We would absolutely need a better matchmaking system implemented in the game for free-for-all specifically, because the current matchmaking system is based off of some Halo 2 idea of what matchmaking and MMR is from 2003. So we would have to have the matchmaking system for free-for-all completely redone so that everybody would be on a similar skill level across the board, as opposed to assembling a team across various different skill levels. Possible restrictions would be needed for some perks, weapons, gadgets, abilities, etc. And I'll get into that in just a second in my suggestions area. Cheaters could go completely unnoticed to an extent. So cheaters are something that is currently running rampant in the game as of right now, and since it's a free-for-all game mode, then you have no way of spectating that individual, whether you're on their team or someone on your team is still alive and actively trying to play against that person. So cheaters for the most part would go unnoticed for a little while, until they started seeing reoccurring instances whenever you play against them in multiple games. The meta rogues or weapons would be primarily played, so there would be an absolute meta established for free-for-all, just like in all the other game modes, and you would see that meta exploited to its fullest, especially in single life modes, because you would have the staples of Rogue Company that would constantly be played in this game mode. You'd have Lancers being ran, you'd have Chalks being ran, then you'd also have some rogues that wouldn't be used at all because of their abilities themselves, such as Saint, such as Dahlia, such as Runway. Like, yes, Runway can hit the briefcase herself, but you're not giving that team benefit since she is classified as a support character for some reason. But you would see some of those rogues not being utilized whatsoever because there would be no benefits unless they redesign how their abilities worked specifically for free-for-all, such as Saint being able to heal himself, or Dahlia being able to heal herself whenever she goes down. But then it's basically a glorified chalk at that point. So what would be the point of doing that? Lastly, spawns would need to be completely reworked. The spawns for Rogue Company right now, being a 4v4 or a 6v6 game, suck. In free-for-all, they would be absolutely atrocious, because if they can't make a simplified spawn system for a team game, how are they going to make a simplified spawn system for a free-for-all game mode? Unless it was a one-life game mode or something similar to that, where the respawns were delayed based off of how many people were in respawn queue. So those are my pros and cons. I think that there is a place in Rogue Company for free-for-all, but there's going to be a ton of work that's going to be needed in order to incorporate a game mode like this. So for my suggestions to make a free-for-all a little bit more of a viable game mode, remove perks, abilities, and gadgets. So you drop into the game, all you have is just your primary weapon, your secondary weapon, and your grit and your gut, and just roll with it and let that be what it is. A possible aside from this is spawn in with a pistol only and pick up weapons, abilities, gadgets, etc. as they spawn on the map, a la Halo, Gears of War, things like that. They've already tried to incorporate a game mode like that in as a LTM before, and it was absolutely terrible because none of the weapon spawns made any sense, and they rotated, and it was just absolutely terrible to try to do it that way. So that is something that could be viable, is having a set spawn on the map where certain weapons spawn and the power weapons spawn in specific locations, and then you can go and pick them up and have fun that way. Possibly make an objective to keep the momentum flowing, such as a capture zone that gives healing over time benefits to a person controlling the zone. The zone could move around to various locations on the map. So this is basically kind of like King of the Hill, but King of the Hill giving you a healing benefit. I know you're going to get healing over time, but that would make it very interesting if there was a large area of the map where players could basically contest and fight in, and it provided some healing benefits. That way it prolonged a couple of these engagements. If you were going to have an 8-person free-for-all or even a 12-person free-for-all, it would be absolute chaos, and you wouldn't be able to heal. You wouldn't be able to heal yourself, so it would feel really bad to an extent. Here's one of my favorite suggestions. Rework Battlezone as a free-for-all mode. Battlezone is already set up to be something that could be easily transitioned into free-for-all. You already have the weapon drops with the loot boxes. You already have a zone that pushes players into one specific area of the map. It's also a very short game mode, and there are no respawns since it is a single life game mode. So you could absolutely take the premier game mode that is Battlezone and take out the team element and the team aspect of it and apply it specifically for free-for-all only. It would work great as gun game. We've talked about that in the past, but gun game would work very, very well as a free-for-all game mode. So if they did it, that would be one of the ways that they could potentially do it. I have a game mode concept here. There is a central bomb. The player picks up the bomb and is revealed. You gain points as you hold on to the bomb. If you eliminate players, you gain bonuses to your points. If you are eliminated, that person gains a boost and picks up the bomb. So it's basically like capture the bomb, or whatever you want to call it. So there's one object on the map that you're wanting control of. Everybody has different levels of how many points they have based off of how much time they've had possession of that object, and you gain bonuses and benefits for downing people whenever you actually have whatever object it is. Or if you down the person that has that object, then it gives you a bonus and a boost, so that when you pick it up, if you are able to pick it up, then it gets you kick started on the gaining points a little bit faster to try to catch up with whoever's on top. I don't know if that's good or not. That's just something that I came up with right off the top of my head. And lastly, on my suggestions here, have a limited number of respawns per person so players are eliminated through the match. Allow eliminated players to leave the game once they run out of respawns. So this would be similar to the ticket system that is currently in Strikeout, where you start the game with, let's say, 25 tickets or 15 tickets, whatever. And once you run out of tickets, then you are eliminated from that game, so that you are slowly and meticulously eliminating players as you play through that game mode. So free-for-all is a very interesting concept. It is not one of my favorite game modes. It never has been one of my favorite game modes, specifically because I enjoy playing games with my friends. I enjoy playing games with people that are just like fun to play with. It doesn't matter if we know each other or not. It doesn't matter if we're friends or not. If you are good, if you are able to communicate, then I enjoy playing those team-based game modes. But I understand the need for a game mode like free-for-all in Rogue Company, because there are some people that don't have people online at that particular moment to play with. And I think that the biggest need for a free-for-all comes from the fact that the matchmaking in the game is absolutely terrible, and there is nothing hinting that the matchmaking system is going to get reworked, overhauled, or anything like that. So whenever you drop into the game several times with brain dead teammates or possible bot teammates, then I understand the need for something like this to exist, so you don't have to rely on anybody other than yourself. So I think that it would be a good thing to be added into the game. I think that there's going to have to be a lot of care and a lot of attention brought into free-for-all in order to make it a very good and viable game mode. But I think that it is something that can be done if there is enough of a community reception to a single person game mode. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like free-for-all, and would you like to see a free-for-all mode added in Rogue Company? Be sure to let me know. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. And lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time and Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
Itch.
It won't let me fucking...
A nasty heady over there.
You throwing some shit at us? Don't matter.
About Dima getting a life drain. I think they're going to be. And
I think so.
they asked if I had any more questions, and I asked them if he's one shot behind that close cover.
Thirsted it.
Deploying utility.
They're all right there.
Another contract.
Yeah, boy. Methodically.
Mission complete.
Meticulously tore them apart from the inside out, you know?
They got the wrong switchblade up there. Get the fuck off my pedestal.
I think I'm like Rubio. I can't hit people that are standing still.
I feel that. I'm the
If they're
same
standing
way.
still or moving very slowly, I'm not going to hit them. But if they're like cutting it, I'm going to whip them, dude.
Yeah, yeah.